Hello and welcome back to the channel and the current General's Handbook. It's too warm to play.
It's hot. It's hot. The sun keeps coming in. There's a dickhead outside revving his engine.
Enough of that. Welcome to the second of the General's Handbook games. We are playing Paths of the Fae, which I believe potentially is going to become the limited resources of this General's Handbook, because it's one of the games that any person I've seen talk about it either goes, this is going to be hilarious to watch someone play, or I don't want to play that.
Horrible.
Because it's the one where you have to teleport people at the beginning of each round.
Oh, it's that! I don't remember how to play this.
Well, let me explain it to you, Emma.
Okay. Oh, okay.
The more you know.
Right, the white man is talking.
Oh. So, Path of the Fae, Battleplan 2. So there are, as you'll be seeing already from our deployment scanovers that are showing, there are 5 objectives on the board. There are 2 of the, I believe they're called Gnarl Root objectives on the diagonal, and the other are the Oaken Brow. And then a central objective. Both the twinned objectives are in no man's land, with a kind of a channel in the middle that is territories up to the centre. Scoring is very easy. Well, 5 points for one objective, 3 points for 2 or more objectives, 2 for more than your opponent.
It's easy, but it's not that easy.
Then you've got your new battle tactic cards. We'll come into that when we do the lists. But the part that makes a little bit of a headache is the underdog mechanic, or the twist. If you are the underdog, you must use the Spirit Paths Open ability. Both players can use Stumbling Forth. So, once per battle round, start of the battle round, pick 2 objectives to be the targets. All units within 6 inches of any targeted objectives must be removed from the battlefield by the commander, and then they are given the Vanished keyword. Then, starting with the underdog, the players must take it in turns to set up each friendly Vanished unit wholly within 6 inches of either target objective and more than 3 inches from all enemy units. Each model must be set up as close as possible to that objective. They cannot use move abilities in the first movement phase of the battle round, which makes sense because they're set up. But either way, if it's impossible for a unit to be set up this way, they lose the Vanished keyword and gain the Lost keyword.
They do.
Which essentially goes into reserves, because your movement phase Stumbling Forth ability that both players can use, regardless of the underdog getting to use the one that we just described, in your movement phase, pick a friendly Lost unit to be the target, set that unit up on the battlefield more than 9 inches from all enemy units and wholly within 7 inches of a battlefield edge. Grand. Nice and easy.
That's all stressful.
Terrain has been set up as best we can to the map of the battle plan, with obscuring terrain being the trees, the aquilif, and the 2 larger domicile shells. The small ruined walls are simply area terrain or obstacles. And then finally the 2 statues on the flanking edges are places of power.
That terrain piece has got so much dust on top of it.
I know, it's because it just sits on the shelf and then we never look after them. Anyway.
Yeah, we should dust them.
So that's the game.
Yes.
Nice and easy. What are we playing, Emma? What army are you playing?
I'm playing the Stormcast.
Yeah.
Jokes. I'm not. I'm playing the Ironjawz, and I'm regretting this because I don't know what they do. But we have a go from which way are we panning, left to right or right to left?
However you like, because I'll film it after you talk.
Okay, from left to right, we've got a set of Scourge of Gairan Gore Grunters.
Scourge.
Gairan.
Yep. Soggy.
We've got... What?
They're called Soggy.
Okay.
It's a Soggy Gore Grunter because it's a sort of Gairan. Soggy. No.
Oh, I see. Then I've got Rhino, my mega boss. I've got a unit of 10 brutes in front of him. I've got a boss rock tower. We don't know what that does, but I guess we'll find out. And we've got a reinforced unit of Ard Boys, so there's 20 of the little fuckers. There's an Ard Boy big boss, or 2 Knives Clive. That's 4. 2 Knives Clive. Then there's Godrak, the big cabbage,
Yep.
the man on top.
Named cabbage.
Named cabbage, Bresik, and then we've got another 3 soggy Gorgruntus.
Disclaimer, the model playing Godrak is a mega boss on Maw Crusher.
Yes.
It's not the specific model for Godrak. We were just going, it'd be interesting to see what Godrak does rather than a mega boss on Maw Crusher. I believe the only difference is his weaponry and that the Maw Crusher wears a mask. That's the only modelling differences. So it's not it's not like you're doing a thing of I've put down an iceberg lettuce and gone, that's my cabbage.
No, we could have done that.
There's
joke. Also a weird knob shaman who is called Blind Pew, who will be going into the boss rock tower
to be a shouty boss.
Shouty boss.
Yes.
I don't know how most of this stuff works. The Mega Boss Rhino has got the Hulking Brute trait and the Amberbow Whetstone artifact. Hulking Brute gets to do some damage if he charges. And the Amberbow Whetstone gives a +1 rend to one of his melee weapons, which is hilarious because he's only got one melee weapon and now it's a rend 2. We've gone for Ironjawz Brawl as our battle formation. If you make an unmodified charge roll of 8+ for
infantry
for a
units.
non-hero. Oh, it just says non-heroes.
I thought it was non-hero infantry. I might be
Just says
mistaken.
non-heroes. For all non-heroes, you get to add 1 to attack characteristic of a melee weapon until the end of the round.
That means that the pigs can do it. I thought it was non-hero infantry units.
I'll check, but it just says non-hero.
It's been a hot minute since I looked at that page because I've been focusing on brute fist.
Yeah, I wrote it down, but I will check that I've not missed that word off.
That's cool.
And then you've got loads of notes on those cards. 'Cause I'm using your cards, and those notes are irrelevant to me.
No, those notes are relevant to you. They are so what I did was rather than buying the card pack when it came out at the Battleplan release, I used the original index and I've made a note on it to be like the index has changed this way. Okay. So for example, the Mega Boss on foot has a note that says ignore the rule underneath it. I think it's get stuck in or something like that.
Okay.
And lead the brutes has now changed, so it does this.
Just try to make sense of your handwriting.
I'll be able to help you because I play this army.
What is this?
The only one I haven't used in the list that you're using is Godrak, and we can learn that together.
And you're taking this army to a tournament soon?
As of release of this video, that tournament has already happened.
Yeah. How did it go?
I don't know. I probably lost.
We are obviously recording this in advance of the tournament. It's about a week till the tournament, so you don't know, but it went really well. Well done. I'm really proud that you won.
If you want to see the list that I took, it's essentially this list with the Ard Boys unreinforced in 2 separate units, remove the Ard Boy Big Boss, put in a War Chanter, and change Godrak for an Anvil Smasher and a Maw Grunter with Hacking Crew. Essentially my list.
Okay.
And then I gave Armour of Gork and Eye for the Fight to Rhino instead.
Anyway, what's your army, Steve?
The other thing that we need to do quickly, apologies, this is the part of this headache.
We were talking about this later, but
got your battle tactics, which, unlike, because it's your birthday yesterday,
Happy birthday to me for yesterday. Do you know, for a minute I forgot we were doing this in advance, and I was like, what?
We just said that it was the tournament.
I was like, no, it wasn't my birthday yesterday.
The tournament was the days before your birthday.
Yeah.
As it's your birthday, and you have
It was my birthday yesterday. It was great.
You're 29 again.
Steve bought something amazing.
I'm sure. As you've been complaining about the battle tactic cards and not enjoyed how the battle tactics work.
So I hate this battle tactic shite.
I have made a homebrewed custom version, which we might experiment with more after this video, see how people like it. But you are taking the Lost to the Fates card rather than any of the 6 cards that currently exist.
Yep.
Which combines all of those cards into a roll to see which battle tactic you've got. Because you prefer the randomness or the, I would like to see the centre now because it's set up for this rather than it being. So essentially the rules will be that all of the cards are set up from a 1 to 6 on a sheet. You pick 2 affray tactics at the beginning of the game. You can either roll for them for fun, or
I am absolutely rolling for them for fun.
Or you can select them specifically.
Yeah.
That part might be a bit more kind of problematic, which is where the balancing might be a problem. But you can only score as per the rules of. You can score 5 points per one you've done. You can only score 2 at max, so you can't go, I did 3 affrays and failed everything else. Once you've done 2 or more affrays, you can move on to the list that is the 6 strikes, and finally the 6 domination scores. They've all been slightly reworded, so as they come up in the game... Actually, no, I think they're all basically the same wording, apart from 1 or 2.
Are you going to put them on the screen?
We'll explain it in the chat, in the bit after the return, so you understand what we've done.
Yeah.
But I think the main one that changed was intercept and retrieve, rather than me picking 5 things now.
Yes.
When you roll that one, it gives a keyword. I give a keyword to one of my characters that becomes your intercept and destroy for that round.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Cool.
But the idea is, as the warp energy of the Skaven Tide pushing the North City through into the realms has caused a lot of problem, your army has been picked up into that and is just getting flung into battle to battle, like our warlords that we did for our bunker.
Yep.
Anyway,
Right.
so that's your battle tactics.
Nice. Thank you.
Lovely. I'm going for more traditional. So I've tried to see what we can do with everything I own for Ogres. So it's not a competitive list by any means, but I've gone for a little bit of fun. May I take the Scourge Go Around notes over there, please? Thank you. So I've gone for the Morpath Menaces, which I believe might be the lesser interested party out of the 2 new battle formations. But once per turn army, I can pick a friendly infantry unit that is not in combat, roll a dice. On a free up, that target can move a number of inches equal to the roll. It can move through combat ranges and ends that move in combat. If it does, that target has charged. So it's basically a counter charge ability because you use it in the enemy charge phase. The army is 1950 points, as was yours, and it's 3 regiments. So we've got I believe my general is the Stonehorn. Frostlord on Stonehorn. He has a pack of Mournfang, 2 sets of unreinforced Gluttons, and a Scourge of Gairan Iron Blaster. In the 2nd regiment, we have a Tyrant with a Bloodpal Hunter who's hiding at the back, and a set of Iron Guts. And then the final regiment is a Butcher with a set of Lead Belchers, which are all interspersed in this big bubble of fat boys ready to do some charges.
Love it.
Items and things I have done have been... I have given the Frostlord the Gruesome Trophies ability, which I believe he gives a +1 to hits. Holy Within 12 of him. Let me just pull this up because it's the first time I've played the Ogres in a proper game. This is interesting. Gruesome Trophies. Add 1 to hit rolls for combat attacks for that target heroes and monsters made by friendly Ogre War tribes units that are Holy Within 12 of the Frostlord.
Okay.
I have also given him the Scourge of Gairan ability of Big Name Mega Gobbler, where I pick one of the following keywords: infantry, cavalry, monster, war machine, or beast. Yeah. For the rest of the battle, each time any damage points are allocated to an enemy unit with that keyword by this unit's combat attacks, and that unit was destroyed in the same turn, add 1 to attack characteristics of the unit's melee weapons. This is accumulative. So I'm going to pick infantry.
Yeah.
So if he kills and destroys an infantry unit, or if a unit is destroyed and he's put damage onto it, he will get +1 to his attacks, apart from the companion weapons.
You're cute.
Thank you. Finally, the other one is my Tyrant has been given the Voice of the Everwinter, I believe it is, which basically it gives him Touched by the Everwinter, which basically turns him into a Priest 1.
Okay. Better than a Priest 2. Not really. Joking though.
And finally, I've taken the Forbidden Powers manifestations, which are the Burning Head and the Primal Energy, sorry, and the Gnashing Jaws.
Yes.
1950 points. Wrathful Cycles and Restless Energy as my battle tactics, because those are the two that I've taken with my Ironjawz list, so I want to practice them.
Yep.
3 drops each. I won deployment. I'm going to let you go first.
All right.
Anything more?
No.
Back in a moment.
Bye. A warg. We didn't warg. In fact, we didn't do much of anything.
Oh, you didn't use Mighty Destroyers either. I apologise, that's my fault. I didn't tell you
I
to.
forgot what that was. So, what we tried to do was to get a manifestation on the board. What we failed to do was get a manifestation on the board because we rolled a double 1 when all we needed was a 5. So, thanks for the double 1, because when it mattered, I rolled a d3 damage on him and got a fucking 6, which makes 3 damage. I'm like, those dice should have been the other way around, shouldn't they?
Blambia.
Salty. Hashtag. But, so we tried to cast that, it failed. Did no other hero face stuff that I could do. And so we moved stuff. So we have Gore Grunters on those 2 objectives at the back. 1 Oaken Brow, 1 Gnarled Root.
May I do one thing?
Yeah.
Because it's really irritating me. You put that one
Okay.
wrong.
And then we've moved and ran mine, Ard Boys forward. It looks like they're those shadows.
Actually, that's amazing. I hadn't spotted.
I've just realised it genuinely looks like it's 10 boys in their shadows.
Fighting with the ancestors behind them.
Cliff Richard and the shadows. So we moved and we ran them forwards to get onto an objective. You did a thing over here because you managed to move.
Yes, so my Blood Pelt Hunter over here was hiding behind the wall, and essentially in the movement phase, if he has no enemy units within 9 inches of him, he's allowed to make a regular move.
Yes.
So he ran onto that objective over there.
He did. So yes.
Or not ran, but he moved because running is a thing.
Running is a thing, we don't run.
I also spent a CP and tried to magical intervention, doing a sacred rites with my tyrant. Guess what? Rolled a 1 as well. We're both cursed today.
We can't do spells today. That is not happening. But the tactics that I rolled for, we got a 2 and a 3. So number 2 is Water with Blood. Complete this tactic at the end of your turn if you took control of an objective your opponent controlled at the start of your turn. You didn't control anything at the start of my turn. So there was nothing for me to take control of. It's raining again. And then number 3 was Stolen Seed Pod. At the start of your turn, you ask your opponent to select one of their units to be the thief. It cannot be a manifestation or faction terrain. And I needed to destroy it. You picked this thing at the back.
The Iron Blaster.
The Iron Blaster, which you marked with a coin.
Yep.
Ooh, nice. You picked that. I had no hope of getting to the back to get it. So there was only if I'd picked these tactics, I would have picked this Seize the Centre one, Sacred Centrality. But I like rolling because it's fun. But it does mean that I scored
1, 2
or more objectives, so I ended up with 10 points.
Yes.
So it's that first round when nothing happened.
Because it's kind of also playtesting that sheet that you got in your hand. I believe I said on there that if you fail it at the end of your turn, you don't get to redo it. I think that's a little unfair because I would pick a card and say, I can do a fray in turn 2 if I didn't do it in turn 1, and it'd be the same affray. So I think it should be a thing of you roll it at random to pick which one you're going to do, and then at the end of your turn or at the start of your next turn, you can roll another one, and that one is failed and can't be repeated. Or you keep it and continue into it.
I'd say if I pick them.
Yeah.
This is how I would do this. If I have chosen them,
you have to do it that turn.
I can't choose them again. But if I'm rolling for it,
then you can hold on to it.
Yeah.
It's kind of almost the 40k card type thing. If you pull tactical, or if you that's kind of what I was thinking with it. Of the like you've just said there. If I choose it, I know I can do it in the way that you would in the old General's Handbook of I pick Seize the Centre, I go for Seize the Centre.
Because I'm going to say, if I roll again on my next turn, right? Because I failed both of those, so I have to do it again.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. In my new version, or the bit I've just said there, you don't have to roll. You can keep them and continue those two, or you can re-roll one of them and then replace it.
So I was going to say re-roll both, and if it happens to be the same, it happens to be the same.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was going more if you choose to re-roll one, you can't then redo one of them, sort of thing. But yeah, either way, we'll see what happens.
You also said that if you run out of afraid tactics, you automatically move on to strikes. There's 6 tactics here.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, it's because I was trying to cover a rule which doesn't exist. So play testing is fun.
Yeah. So I'd say if I'm rolling it and leaving it up to the hands of fate, I will roll again on my next turn and whatever it says.
Okay.
It might be the same ones, it might be different ones, it might be one of the same.
Yeah, that's fine.
But because I didn't have anything to do with picking them.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
And if it turns out it is one that I've done, I can roll that dice again. Cause
yes, I think that should be the rule. That definitely, if it's like I can't do that one because it was failed or it was I've already scored it, that would be a one where you go, no.
Yeah,
fine.
Just roll again till you get a different one
okay.
at that point.
Cool, well, you've got 10 points to 0.
10 points to 0.
This is where we are at the moment, and we'll be back in a moment for the Ogors Turn 1.
Bye.
Welcome to the Fat Boys Turn 1, led by the biggest fat boy. The turn went a lot better than I thought, and then also a lot nastier. So I just moved forward with the big bubble of nasty in the middle. I gave the painted ogres, apologies, there's painted models. I've got so many things I need to paint. Moved the painted ogres and then charged into the Yard Boys with them and the Iron Guts and the Tyrant. Gave the painted ogres, the painted gluttons, the Blood Feast, which gave them extra attack each. Then just did some shooting. Failed my prayering again because prayer's just not working for me. These dice suck. Don't buy Ogre More Tribes dice if you find them online.
Well, they were the ones that always rolled 6s.
No, both of them have that problem. In the ogres and the Ironjawz dice, they both are either ridiculous, as in good, or ridiculous, as in I can't roll anything above a 2. Yeah. Normally the ogres are more towards the 2s than the 6s, but they do have a moment every now and then when they go, oh look, there's nothing but more tribe signs. Anyway, so yeah, just charge forward. Shot at Godrak with my little lead pouches over here that tried to get some stuff. Moved things forward, as Kib saying, shot with the Iron Blaster around the side of the boys into the Ard Boys. And then some nasty things happened, because I did a load of damage with my trampling charges, with everything going into the Ard Boys. And then you countercharged
Yes.
with those big nasty brutes.
Yeah.
And how did those big nasty brutes go, Emma?
Well, they deleted quite a lot of your stuff.
Oh, aye. They did 16 damage in total, I think.
Yeah,
it was.
they did, yeah.
Which is why I've got just 2 lonelier gluttons and one of them on 3 wounds taken.
How embarrassing for you.
Yes. Managed to take out all bar 1.5 of the Ard boys, though, which felt good. So it's all to play for. Though this is where the hero hour really came in. Taken 1-2 more objectives.
Yep.
Also got an objective that my opponent controlled at the start of the turn, and have more than my opponent, so I get 10 points on those as well. So it's 20 to 10 in the ogre's favour.
Really, because it feels like 1:30.
Anyway.
Stress!
So yes, that's all that happened.
Yeah.
Not a lot of fighting, not a lot of fun. But we are here. Mm-hmm. And now we come to the first headache problem.
Here we go.
Anything for you on that round you want to talk about?
No. There's nothing. We already covered the one thing I did.
Roll for priority. I got a 2.
I got a 4.
So you have priority.
I'll go first.
You'll go first. You are the underdog.
Yes.
So you get to pick 2 objectives on the board, and they will become the targeted objectives where we have to then remove everything wholly within 6 inches. Oh, not whole, within 6 inches of that objective.
Well, I mean, it's.
I think I know which 2 you're going to
Yeah.
pick, but also.
So we're going to go for the middle one.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then we'll go for one of the back ones. That one.
Now, my suggestion to you here.
Because I was going to go 2 back.
Yeah.
Then I went, but the middle one has stuff where we all clear our stuff off, and then because I'm the underdog, I get to put my stuff back first.
Yep.
So I was like, cool.
My suggestion for you is, because when we practiced this the other day, you were getting frustrated with me because you were selecting objectives, which meant that I had to remove all my stuff off the board, and then I basically used it as an ability to refigure how my units were on the board, and therefore set them up for a better thing.
Yeah.
So what you could do if you wanted to set yourself up with a better movement thing is use the one with Godrak and the Gorgrunters on, because then you could set them up closer this way.
That's very true. Yeah, I could actually.
Or vice versa with your one over there.
No, this one's good. I like this one here.
Because if you pick either of those, the only thing you have to do is I'm going to have to move my Blood Power
You're just
Hunter back a
literally
bit.
rearranging what's on it.
Yeah.
If I do this,
you get to rearrange what's on your objective, but also you can go, for example,
I can come to the front of
he
it.
can sit right in front of it and then has an easier movement out into...
Okay, let's do that middle one there then.
Middle one.
And this one over here.
Okay, let's do this for the sake of your hands and also for speed. We'll pause the video here and then we will just quickly reconvene showing how the board was reset after they have been put back on the board.
Okay, and this is what it looks like afterwards. We have cleared everything off this middle objective, put my brutes back on it, put my 2 hard boys back on it. Steve's put his
Iron Guts
back on it with the required distance between.
3 inches away, wholly within 6 inches of the objective.
That's the required distance. And then over here we've got the big cabbage and 3 Gorgrunters in much better positions to charge.
Yeah, especially with their 9-inch, they can now come around that way, he can come that way, or vice versa.
So yes, this is what we've got.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right, so you've got priority. Who's going first for this? Okay, so we'll be back in a moment for Ironjawz Turn 2.
Bye. called the Warg. And you didn't hear it, but it was sang and it was musical and it was love. Now, we scored 15 points. We took an objective over here that was Steve's. So we still have 1, 2 and more.
Poor little lead belchers took the full might of those Gorgrunters and Godrak.
Gorgrunters did nothing. They didn't even get a chance to fight. It was just Godrak. Who called the Warg. You've taken the middle, still.
Yes.
And then I've come over here. And because I've got an OC of 2, you've got an OC of 2, that is now contested.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got 1, 2 and more. The tactics I rolled were number 1, cut off the head and kill a hero. And number 3, again, the seed pod, take it from the thief. You've still picked this guy to be the thief.
Yep.
Can't possibly have got to him this turn. However, all turns are coming. So we did manage to kill a hero because we managed to kill the guy over here whose name I don't know.
That was the Blood Pelt Hunter.
Blood Pelt Hunter. Dead. Dead Pelt Hunter. Ha ha ha. But you killed 2 Knives Guy who was shit at his job.
In fairness, you ran into a bubble of basically 8 gluttons, 4 now free iron guts, and a tyrant.
Okay. The problem here is that I mistakenly thought 2 Knives Clive would be good. 2 Knives Clive was dead. And he died after doing 0 damage.
He took out a dragon in his first game. How dare you?
Well, great. That's not this game, though, and that does not apply to me, and therefore I don't give a shit. 2 Knives Clive? Shit Clive. 2
Wow.
pieces of shit Clive. I don't know. Can't make a snappy joke there. So we're getting to a point where we're going to talk this out.
2 Knives Clive. Wish it was 2 Lives Clive.
2 Lives Clive. Oh my god. Well done.
That joke.
That's how you would have made that funnier. But that's where we are. So I got 15 points. I'm on 25. You're on 20, and we're about to go into turn 2 of the Ogors.
Yes. Currently, I'm only going to be scoring 5 points on the board.
Yeah.
So, and that's only if I can keep the middle. So it may become a draw in a moment.
Yeah. Well, if you take them out.
Yes. Let's see what we do. And yes, back in a moment for Ogres. The only thing I should kind of go over, all out attacked over there, trying to put some damage into the Gorgrunters, did nothing.
Yeah. Did try that.
Rallied to put some gluttons back on health. All out attacked with those, all out defensed over here with the iron guts, trying to keep those brutes from killing them.
Yeah.
So I'm out of CP already.
Oh, out of CP, yeah.
So I'm going into a round with just whatever I can do on rules.
I'm on 3.
It's fascinating playing this already, knowing that the meta is I need more of my motorbike and the Mournfang stuff because the monster trucks are really where it's at.
You are literally all in the middle, apart from those 2 there. You are here.
Yeah, I kind of just put a massive hammer and if I charge it down the middle, it'll be funny.
Keep making jokes about we're going to talk it out soon, but I actually think it won't be that long.
Yeah, you've got Gorgrunters, Godrak, a Brute, 2 Ardboys, a Mega Boss, Shouty Boss, and...
Shouty Boss is doing fuck all.
He made -3 to my Iron Guts.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
In fact, actually, 2, 4, 6, -3 makes me 3 to your 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's yours in the centre.
That's mine!
Bosh.
Yeah. Bosh.
There you go.
Thank you.
Even better. So yes, that's what I'm trying. Yeah, the Gutbusters are playing better than I expected them to, but also there is a lot of problem with it. It's also my collection isn't good. I need to sort my collection in the same way I need to sort out my own Jaws and get a bit more better stuff.
Yeah, we all need to sort out our lives.
Anyway, back in a moment for Ogors Turn 2. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello and welcome back to the Ogors Turn.
How is it only turn 2? We've been playing this for 5 days.
It's because you went out in the middle of the thing.
Yes, did.
Right, so what happened? Tell us about it, friend. We moved backwards this way with the Iron Blaster because the More Crusher or Godrak was coming this way for him. We just tottled forwards with the only units that weren't locked in combat because everything in the middle was just locked by a brute and 2 hard boys.
It's not now.
And then yeah, we just charged forward with the Stonehorn. We shot and took out a lot of damage on Godrak, and then Godrak countercharged into the Glissons, who reminded him who's boss.
He is.
And then you killed my one of my Mournfang.
I did.
And I took one of your Gorgrunters.
Yes.
And because of the positioning of things, and I didn't want to lose my pistol, I have lost that objective to you, so you score more. I was hoping that would allow me to move into the underdog, so I could get the strike on Raffle Cycles. But alas, no such dice. As I score 5 for the objective in the centre, I score 5 for invasive species from the restless energy because I control the one objective that's within enemy territory. So all in all, a 10-point score, putting us on to 25 to 30 in my favour, and we come into round 3.
And we have to do the whole moving things.
The shenanigans, yes. So we roll for Prarodar.
1.
I get a 3. So I'm currently scoring 5 points ahead, so I can't double turn you either way, which would automatically make you the underdog until you double turned me, if I did.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to give you turn 1. So do you want to pick your 2 objectives as the underdog?
That one over there.
That one?
That one over there,
Yep.
And then it really doesn't matter because
so
it's either yours or mine.
Yeah, you're going to either allow me to reposition everything on here, or you're going to allow yourself to reposition the Gorgrunters however you want them, knowing that you're going first.
I know.
You can set them up to come through that way.
That's what I'm thinking. I was like, it's sort of between the 2, but if I do that, I can move first. So we're going to do that one over there with the Gorgrunters.
Cool. So because that one... So you're doing that one and that, basically the 2 far ends here. Shall we go, rather than showing how it's positioned this time, because it's fairly innocuous how it's going to go, we'll just go into filming your turn after positioning.
Yep.
Anything for you on that turn?
No, there isn't. This is bad. This is bad for the Ogres. What's it like seeing your army lose? I'm very talented at losing. I'm the greatest 40k.
I don't think... So, there's a discussion to be had. I think we'll get to the end of the game first, but I think there is a thing about the new game and your play style and some other bits, but we'll come to that. Let's go into Ironjawz Turn 3.
Okay. Bye.
Hello and welcome back. That was a...
Guess who won? done. This guy.
Could you pass me my notebook whilst you do this bit, and I'll work out what I can do with things.
Who has 2 thumbs and lost again?
Do you want to tell us what you did?
Yeah, get in there. Just a minute, let me sit with my grief. God. As you go through life, there are lots of different griefs. Right. So, we rolled the random tactics again, and we got number 2 and 3, which was take an objective that Steve owns, and the only one was that middle one, and try and get that fucking thief. Didn't get the fucking thief, and lots of other stuff got killed and deaded, and it was miserable. So bearing in mind this is my turn 3 of 5. Kept some objectives. I have 4 out of 5 objectives here, which is great for me, self-esteem. But Steve killed a load of stuff. I killed some of his stuff, but not as much. And we ended up with me just scoring 10 for that round.
Yes.
So I ended up with 35 because I didn't get any of my tactics. The only models I have left by the end of that turn are 2 Gore Grunters over here, and the Shouty Boss Weird Knob Shaman in the tower. At that point we called it, because you're going to defeat those Gore Grunters. One's on half health-ish, one's on full health. Shouty Boss is on half health. You need to get your tactic, you need to take all objectives, which if I have nothing on the board at this point, you just separate, and like by the end of the game you just run everything in because there's nothing to fight. Take the objectives, fine. So yeah, we kind of didn't do Steve's turn, we just sort of stopped it and went, is this a fair assessment of what we do? And the answer was yes. You're working things out manically while I'm talking about stuff.
That's cool. So essentially we were left in a position where you controlled all of the objectives on the outskirts, and I controlled the centre, but all my army was in the centre apart from 1 or 2 models.
Yeah.
And I've just been looking at the board and also thinking about knowing movement speeds and stuff like that. What I would do in my turn 3 and what you could do in turn 4. So in the next turn, as I've already said, running the monster truck or the Stonehorn over onto that objective, auto running these guys onto this objective, that would get me 1, 2 and more regardless of what happens. So that's a guaranteed 10 points. I can't get either tactic at this point because I wouldn't be the underdog and I don't control every objective. So it would be a score of 10 points, which puts us to 35 to 40 in my favour still. On the worst case scenario for me, best case scenario for you, you keep that 1 objective, best case scenario for you, 2 objectives. And therefore it would move you from 35 to 40 or 43 if you had 2 of them.
Fair.
But the other units I would be using would basically be the Iron Guts and the Tyrant go take out the Boss Rock Tower and the Weird Knob Shaman, which would then delete the manifestations because they disappear with him. These guys go out, the big cannon goes and helps get rid of those Gore Grunters so that if they don't die turn 3, they would have died turn 4.
I did manage to get a manifestation out that turn. It was the disgusting feat that I can't actually look at because I hate it. It's gross, it's so gross.
But then with that I would get 1, 2 more and still no tactic. So that would put us on another 10, which would make it 40 to 50. And then, like I said, best case scenario for you is 45 points.
Yeah.
Because you could, if I don't get onto the final objective, controlling all the objectives, then you'd still control 1, so that'd be 45. And then the best case scenario for me would be 1, 2 more, and that final tactic to give me 15.
Yeah.
So it'd be 50 to 55 points, 60 to 65 points for me, 40 to 45 points for you. So if we go best game, most fair possible, we'll go lowest points, 40 to, we'll call it 40 to 50, 40 to 60.
Yeah, okay, sounds good to me.
Yes.
Yes? Yes.
And that is the game.
That was the game. It was quite a short game. You get the rounds to... I'm just watching your WhatsApp. go mental. In the time we've been standing here, you've had 6 messages from 2 different chats.
I was about to say, it's either the Warhammer Scotland chat, the Warhammer Leicester chat.
Yeah, Warhammer Gaming and Warhammer Scotland.
Okay, or the School of Rock chat.
Because you're in a musical.
Yes, don't need to talk about that part. Anyway, so yes, thank you very much for the game.
Yeah, thank you
for playing.
Thank you for playing.
Thank you
for my tactic thing, because I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think I still want to tidy it up a bit.
I mean, it would have been nice if the dice rolled other things, but I like the randomness.
Yeah, I think, but that was the thing, is you wanted a random thing rather than going, oh, for God's sake, I'm locked into
This is the first 4th edition game I've actually enjoyed.
Now...
Because I like that, but that's not legal in any kind of tournament.
That's the part I was going to say, though, is it a case of that part, or is it that your army is slightly better at what it's doing?
I don't know. So I'm not feeling great, as you know. My head wasn't really in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I know that I was missing bits and still not doing bits properly, but definitely the tactics helped with how much I enjoyed that game. And if I can say I enjoyed it and I lost, then it's definitely a game problem and not a sore loser problem.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't like having the fixed tactics.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I think I'm not going to be sad with you using that, and I think we could tidy it up a bit better to make it, and it might be interesting to then move into a place of what if we had a custom battle pack sort of thing. It might be a case if we move it out of the current 2,000 point games, just so if you are watching and you want a tournament list thing, potentially. But like I said, I think there's an element where, because we've played 4 games now or so with the new General's Handbook, I think you need an army and a list that fits to a tactic card that then makes it more agreeable, because you, like you said with your Stormcast, you never use your Warrior Chamber thing because the
Stormcast list is just things I like. It isn't really tailored to win.
But that's the. I don't think it has to be that. I think the problem is, and it's a problem I think a lot of people are going to have, and I've definitely felt it a lot over the last few weeks trying to write the list for my tournament, is that list writing when you moved into 4th edition became very new, in that you've now got a hero takes a regiment. And now it's not only that, it's a hero takes a regiment, but also the list has to be written with a game plan in mind, like officially now, although you probably play at home with this sort of thing, and going, I know that I'm taking these Gore Grunters to go around the edges, I know I'm taking this Stonehorn to do this.
Yep.
There is that thing of, like, I look at my Ironjawz, my Ogors list that I've been running and going, I've just put what I owned on the board, but I definitely wouldn't take, I don't think I would take the Iron Blaster again. Although I enjoyed the 5 damage a shot, I think it would be a case of potentially getting more big bikes or going completely full infantry. Definitely a Kragnos would be awesome. But and then it's going into, well, did Wrathful Cycles do... I played it several times now with Wrathful Cycles and I never get Underdog.
No.
So is it a case of that is not useful to me?
Not.
I took
Too good.
But also I've taken that in that if I play a game and I do fall into Underdog, then I've got a comeback mechanic sort of thing. Which is where, but that's the part of the thing that I both enjoy, but also can see that being very confusing and not very fun for some people, like yourself, who might go, I don't want to have to think about, my battle tactic card shouldn't be, like, you know, it's like the grand strategies that we had in 3rd edition, where it's fun to go, I ended, like my Fire Slayers one, where it'd always be finish the game with an invocation on the board. It's like, it's just a happy win if I got it. It's not a guaranteed. And I never wrote a list going, I'm taking this, so I'd have a list so I could take an invocation, but I didn't take, I didn't write a list going, well, these will defend the priest that got the invocation, and which is now what people, which kind of encourages you more towards that sort of gameplay, but it might just be, like I said, I think it might be, I personally think we need to revisit every one of our armies in terms of, not just in terms of our collection, but like how do they play in the new edition?
I think we do in terms of our collection.
Yes. So if you want to let us know what you think, drop a comment below. You'll be seeing us on the 1st as we continue into the Ravaged Coast back on Akshi, where secrets are happening.
Oh yeah, we've got secrets.
Let's just say that we're trying to expand it a little bit more, and that Sylvaneth and Skaven might be coming in on the other side of Hell's Claw.
This is exciting.
Who knows? We'll let you know in the 1st of August video. As always, please, like we said, let us know in the comments below what you want to see. If you want to see specific armies that we run on the channel, let us know what sort of thing you might like to see there. If you want to see a specific game thing of like you're tired of Ravage Coast and you'd prefer to see a just generic...
Ravage Coast is nearly over.
Yeah, it's only about 3 games away if we just followed the book.
And honestly, the games are just run and fight.
Yeah, which is why we might need to have a chat off the camera about that one, because there is a bit... What we're doing is expanding it out of it.
To be fair.
Yeah, we're talking about expanding Ravage Coast, but it could also be that actual expansion becomes Season 2.
Yeah, it could.
But yeah, we'll talk about that off the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. See you on the 1st of August for that. See you on the 15th of August for the next General's Handbook game, which will be, I don't know what the name it is, but it'll be the first or potentially second time we've played it.
Yeah.
As it keeps going like that. We'll be tidying up the Lord, what's it called? Lost to the Fae. Lost to the
Fae.
Yes, Lost to the Fae. So if you want to see that, we'll pop it on the channel so you can see things and potentially give some feedback.
Oh no, it's not Lost to the Fae. Lost to the Fates.
Oh, Lost to the Fates.
Because Paths of the Fae is the game we've just done.
Yes, there you go.
Yes.
Yeah. Other than that,
donate money to our Patreon. We need new tables. This table's shit. Look at this hill in the
yeah,
middle.
we definitely need to buy a table.
It's terrible.
New camera system potentially. That we could do a cheaper thing. Talk to you about that off the camera. I was thinking about this in a minute. But yes. Bye. That's all. Until next time. It's been 0 days.
Pick odds or evens. Whatever numbers. Okay, evens means you win this game.
I already won it.
Ah, fuck, you win the game. Okay. Bye. It's been 0 days since your last nonsense. Bye.